No matter your age, your plan for retirement can start today. From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Retirement Report.
Good morning. Welcome to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. We're going to be getting into an unusual section today. We haven't, I'm always talking about getting ready for retirement and how to invest your money, how to do comprehensive financial planning to make sure that you've got all the bases covered, that we talk about income and expenses, we talk about assets and liability, how to make sure you'll never run out of money during your lifetime. We want to stack the odds in your favor, right? So that you can maintain your standard of living and your quality of life. Well, one of those areas also is about risk. How do we reduce risk? And there's risk in investing, a lot of risk. We know about market risk. We know about interest rate risk, inflation risk. These are things we talk about all the time. But unfortunately, one of the things that also is out there that we got to be very careful about is fraud. And the types of things that where people kind of try to steal your money, not to, try to help you, but unfortunately to try to take advantage of you. And I've got two special guests on today to help with that. And one of them is Frank Gilligan. He is the Assistant Commissioner for Securities for the Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance. And the other, Chris Clossy. And Chris, I'm going to get this on your right off your card. Director, Financial Services Investigations Unit. So y'all get to really get all the nasty stuff out there, the bad things all the time, right?
That's right.
And this is, by the way, these are the guys out there to help protect you, and this is one of the areas when we get into we're going to talk about some of the most prevalent things that people are taking advantage of, and the kind of things that they see on a regular basis, and how you can protect yourself. And this goes to those out there that maybe have been approached by unscrupulous characters, maybe, who are trying to take advantage of you, but also maybe you're thinking of your parents, what kind of things they may be subjected to, or other family members or friends that you may wonder if they're being treated fairly, or maybe being approached by someone that would in fact take advantage. So we're going to talk about those things and share some of the stories. I mean, we've heard of people, these investment advisors, for instance, who have discretion over people's accounts where they're writing them basically checks, and then how that money gets invested. That's where sometimes that can be a problem.
Yeah, that's right. And what we'll talk about is really what investors can do to help protect themselves, things to look out for, and specifically seniors. Protecting all investors is one of our top priorities, but specifically protecting seniors. So according to a recent study, an estimated $2.9 billion per year is lost to senior financial protection. So it's a huge concern for us, and it's something that we've really been putting a lot of focus and a lot of our time and energy in. Right. And Governor Haslam actually just signed a bill on May 18th, which is the Senior Financial Protection and Securities Modernization Act. And that really gives us some tools that we can use to help better protect seniors specifically. Right.
And that's when, and Chris, we talked a little bit about this. This is one of those areas, why seniors? Why are they seeming to be more the target of these types of things?
There's a couple reasons for that. When they've gotten to the point where they've saved a good amount of money, they've got a good nest egg built up, they've spent their whole lives saving and investing, and they've also got equity in their home, they may own their home. That's a great opportunity for somebody that's into the scam industry. Also, they were raised in a time where being polite to people is the way to be. So it's hard to say to somebody, no. Or let me shop this around, let me see what other people are saying about this same product. So that's another one. And then the one that really is probably the biggest pull on your heartstring is just that they're ashamed or they're embarrassed. And when I was talking to a group not long ago, one of the things that they shared that I didn't even realize is that they already feel like they're a burden a lot of times. So to then reach back out and say, hey, by the way, I lost everything, it's just really tough for them to do. So, and then final thing that I've noticed is that scammers are really wise to know that these financial investigations take a while. And since they take so long, memories are lost anyway. You know, we all, I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. I didn't eat lunch yesterday.
Well,
So
there you go.
that's why I don't remember. But you know, when you're talking about a period of time, as long as these investigations take, those memories are lost, and as far as being a witness in court or in an administrative hearing, it's just difficult. So those are some of the main things that we've seen why the seniors are targeted so much.
I'd just like to pick up on what Chris said about the sense of embarrassment. That goes. That's one of the reasons these cases don't get reported to us often, because they're embarrassed to come forward and say that, you know, I've been a victim of fraud, or they simply don't know. But that lack of reporting is a huge problem. So for every one case that does get reported to us, 14 to 15 do not. So, you know, we really need to increase the reporting.
And this is where the family members and the friends you know, if you see something going on, this is where you want to get, you know, let it be known. I mean, in fact, if they want to, there's a process where someone can call up and say, hey, I've got a concern, my friend or my, you know, my parent or my uncle or whatever it might be, I'm concerned maybe of what's going on with them. Is there, you know, what's the process for them to help?
Well, they can always call the Tennessee Securities Division, Chris's unit, the Financial Services Investigations Unit. That's one of the things that the new Securities Act actually does. What it does is it provides civil and administrative immunity for broker-dealers and investment advisors to report those instances to us. And it allows for notification to third parties, such as family members or you know, anybody with a legal relationship.
And I've had that happen in the past. We've, and I'll talk a little bit about it, because I remember a client that was, this was one of these obvious ones where they were calling, you'd won this, you know, this prize, and all you got to do is send us, you know, a check, and we're going to cover shipping and handling, or to do, you know, for one thing. And then they get a little bit, and the more and then you get more and more invested. And then they'll send you a little something. You know, could be, I think she got a painting one time. She was getting these things in the mail that it got her thinking that the big prize was coming, and she just kept writing the checks. And I remember doing a review, and I saw what was going on, and I contacted her daughter and said, hey, you might want to, you know, have a conversation with your mom and come see what, you know, because she's, you know, this is definitely a problem. And I remember reporting this one too, and this was another, it went across state line. It was actually, I think when the number was traced back, it was out of Canada. So it's got to make enforcement extremely difficult as well.
Yeah, it is. But we work with other states and other jurisdictions, so, you know, in cases like that, and we have cases just like that, you know, in other states, in Canada, out of the country, and you know, we'll work with other states, we'll work with the SEC.
Excellent.
So,
All right, we've got a caller. Let's see, this is Ken. Ken, welcome to the Retire Report. How can we help this morning?
Yes, I've got a quick question. I had my money in a TIA craft. I had planned on retiring, so I moved my money from the craft into a regular IRA at my credit union. And what I'm wanting to find out now is, what's the best thing to put my money in for the best return?
Well, now that's a big question, Frank. Okay, Ken, let me give you a few on this one. One of the difficulties, it has to do, like, you're in a credit union right now. I'm guessing it's probably an IRA CD type thing. The difficulty is going to be return. There's always going to be trade-offs with either risk, or sometimes if you're looking for more guarantee, like insurance type products, you're going to have, you know, there's a time frame. Your time horizon when it comes to investing is one of the things to look at, and that's whether you're investing in the stock market, whether you're tying up money. Let's say you go with longer term CDs, an example, or a long, say a fixed annuity that's a 5-year or 10-year type fixed annuity. Something that maybe is going to pay a higher amount of interest, but then you're committing your money for a longer period of time. You got to make sure that you've got sufficient access for the needs. Mainly with IRAs, if it's not money you need to live on and it's just money you're going to let grow, and you know, eventually say just take required minimum distributions at 70.5, if you're in that type of position, then that would dictate certain things as far as investments. Your risk tolerance, how comfortable you are with stock market risk, this is another area. So when you're trying to invest, one of the things that we're doing is we're looking to stay ahead of inflation and taxes. How do we do that? You know, what types of things might we look at? So there are fixed index annuities, one option. There are fixed annuities, they don't pay, they're a fixed amount, a guaranteed amount, just like a CD. So you might get, right now I think 5-year fixed annuities, you'll get close to 3%, for instance, on. And you can compare that to CD rates. Another is fixed index annuities. In those, you're going to be getting some kind of your return is going to be tied to an index in the market. It could be an S&P 500 index, a Barclays aggregate bond. There are a number of different ones, JP Morgan, Mosaic. So these are just some of the different options. To really find out the best one for you, I would recommend, again, you want to get, I sit down with my clients when they come in, and we do a complete analysis. So what we're doing is a comprehensive plan. We're going to see what your needs actually are. What's the needed rate of return to maintain your standard living, quality of life, and give you the best statistical probability of not running out of money. All right, so when we do the whole plan up, then we look to the investment, what's going to best fit that plan, what's going to help you attain those goals. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I had a gentleman take an offer me, I met through somebody else, that he's got an investment, but he wanted to tie my money up for about 10 years, but they start out paying you about 7%. And, you know, then after the time is up, you'll get X amount of dollars, but
okay, now this is
sure about something like
yeah, what you're describing there, I'm up against a break, but what you're describing sounds to me like an income rider where they're giving you a guaranteed what's called a roll-up rate, which is a little bit different. It's not an actual rate of return. It's more of a function of the roll-up rate. Basically is just showing how much we can, it's a number to, how do I do this? $100,000 invested over 10 years, it'll grow to $200,000 in this factor, okay, but the actual contract or cash value may be, you know, some fraction of that, might be 125, 150, depending on how it's tied in. But the 200, then they'll take 5%, let's say, depending on your age, and you're going to be guaranteed $10,000 a year for life, okay? Yeah. That's what he's describing. That's not actually the same as an investment, okay, where you're looking at growth on your investment. So that's 7%. If he didn't present it, give you all the detail on it, and make it sound like you're getting an actual 7% rate of return on your money, that's not accurate. Okay, you want to get more information about something like that and understand how these riders work, and how, yes, it not only does it tie up your money for that period of time, but it can also create, you're basically locked in for life at that point, because to get the advantage of the rider, you have to activate it and take that income. I'll tell you what I'll do also, Ken, if you would, give a call to my office, 615 376-5325. We'll get it up on the screen, and I'll get you out a book, okay? And in it, it gets into some of the things about different investments, how the smart money invests. It'll talk about stock market investing and portfolio construction, asset allocation, that type of stuff. It'll also get into fixed instruments, guaranteed type things like we were just talking about, CDs, bonds, fixed annuities, that kind of stuff, all right? So it'll cover all that for you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, you take care. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to have to take a quick break. Join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.